has the greatest quantum leaps associated with emitted light? Emitted means you have to do what? Go up or go down? Go down. And so which one is the greatest going down? Yes, 6 to 2. Everybody okay with that? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. So are we okay with the opening? So are we ready to look at homework? See what kind of things are bothering us about the homework?
All of it.
All of it? You want to start with a puzzle?
Yeah. That was easy.
Well, I don't know if this is
I didn't. Huh?
the puzzle's on the back of night before's homework.
Okay. I didn't know where to put the thing.
And know where to put the things.
Like when you answered the question on the line, where was I supposed to put it in the page?
No.
You used the letters in the table. Okay, and right there next to the. Oh, so we have to do. Okay, that's what I did. I was just like,
On purpose is for somebody a picture of his grades. Quiz periodic table parts. Yeah, dude. You weren't here yesterday. You were absent and missed the quiz. You need to make it up. I would have thought that was self-explanatory. If you got a 0 when you were not here to make a quiz. If y'all went on a field trip yesterday and missed a quiz, and it said 0 in the grade book, wouldn't y'all be smart enough to figure out you missed it and need to make it up? Jocelyn, did you get that on your own? You didn't need to send me a picture of Power School, did you? Okay. Glad you figured that out on your own.
I just popped my head out.
Oh.
How did your mom game go yesterday, Allie?
What? Oh, I didn't play.
Oh.
What?
Should we ask how it went?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, now I got an email about somebody with final grades. I put it all in final grades.
Which one are we doing first? It's like, just don't worry about it if you're sick. The quantum numbers?
Isn't it left?
Yeah. I was trying to play, but honestly, it's your answer. I was going to play more about dogs.
All right, I think I took care of all of those now. The reminds. All right, so let's look at the one that had the picture of the puzzle. Let me find mine because I think I've given out almost every copy I have. All right, it looks like this is the back side of the night before's homework. Is there anybody who was absent for 2 days and has nothing, or 3 days and doesn't have this on the back side of the night before's homework? I might be able to rummage up another copy. All right, so number 1, which letter is the alkali metal? Anybody? C. Okay, why didn't we pick I?
Because that's separate.
Okay, it's separate, and it's actually what element they're representing there. They're representing hydrogen, which is a gas. That's why you can't pick I there. You have to pick C. All right, which one's the alkaline earth metal? F. And also, yesterday on, let's say the quiz, if I ask you to name anything in that group and you say alkali earth metal, would I have taken that?
No.
It's not the alkali earth metals. It's not the alkaline metals. You have to name it the alkaline earth metals correctly, or I won't take it. All right. So number 3, an inactive gas. Inactive means it just doesn't react. So who is the inactive gas? A. All right. And active means reactive. So who's the reactive metal? Okay. Or sorry, non-metal. The reactive non-metal. So that's H. All right. A semi-metal means what?
That's what's reactive.
Yes, it's the most reactive nonmetal column. Yes. All right. What does it mean to say a semi-metal? Anybody know? Metalloid. Yes. Okay. So who's the metalloid? B. All right. An inner transition element. D. The most the common oxidation state is -2. G. It has more than one oxidation state. E. It has an oxidation number of +3. J. And then who's the only one left that can be +1 or -1? I. And hydrogen can be +1 or -1.
So when it says the inner transition element, like at first I thought it was transition element in the middle. But that's just going to be a step towards the bottom. Right?
It is. It's the lanthanide and actinides because those were cut out of the transition elements and moved down to the bottom. Okay? That's why they're called the inner transition elements. All right. So if we look at the other ones that I gave you that were application questions, where am I? There they are. So I have the questions.
They were hard.
They're not that bad. They were like the ones we were doing in class.
Those were hard.
These
were hard.
You think these were harder? The only one that is really just poorly worded is H. That one's terrible. All right, so 13A. The number of electrons in the outer shell of bromine. All right, I don't have a periodic table up, so let me get rid of the opening. Now let's get the periodic table. All right, so at this point, I'm hoping that everybody can do the outer shell electrons. And so bromine is here, so it would have 7 outer shell electrons. Are we okay with that? Okay. B, the atom with the outer shell configuration, 3D10, 4s2, 4p4. So putting in your numbers. All right, it ended on 4p4, right? So there's 4, p1, p2, p3, p4. So who ends on 4p4? Se. All right. The element with the first d electron. Who's the first d electron? Yeah. D block is here, right? So Sc is the first one in the D block. Are we okay with that one? All right. Now, D sometimes causes a hardship. The first element to contain a pair of D orbitals. Pair of electrons in a D orbital. Okay? What'd you come up with? You put what? That's a common mistake. Anybody else? Anybody have anything? Fe is the right answer. All right, so if we draw D, I'll just write 3D because it said the first one. Okay, so 3D is the first line. All right, so Michaela had the right idea because she's on the top row. How many lines does D have? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what do the electrons do when they go in the D sublevel? Fill all of them up first. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. The mistake that you made, Michaela, is you assumed 1 up and 1 down. Do they fill that way? No. Okay? That's why it's not TI, because they don't do that. Okay? They do 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Now, once they all have 1, what happens next? Then they do what? Then they pair up. So number 6, okay, that 6th electron is the first one that pairs. So you need the element that's number what? Number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the guy who pairs up. That's how you do it. I can explain it again, but there's no other first element that forms a pair of electrons in the D sublevel. In the D sublevel, all the electrons do what when they fill the D sublevel? Do they pair up like this when they fill? No. They fill singularly before they pair up. So the first one takes a room, the second one takes a room, the third one, the the fourth one, and the fifth one. Look at the way the question's worded. In D, it says the first element to contain a pair of electrons. Okay? They don't pair until all 5 orbitals have what? They have a single one first. And then what happens to number 6? They pair up. So you need the 6th electron. So you need the 6th element across here to find the one that will pair. Okay? All right. The element for which the electron dot symbol contains 5 dots in the 5th main energy level. All right. What did we say yesterday the 5th main energy level was on the periodic table? Anybody remember? It's the period. Good, Xavier. So, main energy level, and you just have to remember that. Main energy level equals the period. All right? So, number 5, it said 5th period for 5th main energy level. And how many dots did it tell us? What do 5 dots mean? 5 outer shell electrons. So this is like graph reading. X and Y. Plot the 2 points. So 5th period, 5 electrons. Where do they intersect? That's the answer. Okay? A full 4th energy level consists of how many electrons? 32. There's multiple ways you can do it. A 4th energy level is N equals 4. Okay? So 2N squared is 32. You could have said it has how many sublevels? So 4S, 4P, 4D, and 4F, and added them up. Or you could have done what I showed you yesterday. How many places are 4 on this periodic table? Here, 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 and here, and added up all the little elements. 2, 10, 6, 14, and you'll get 32. Okay? The first element to contain an F electron. Where's F at? Down here. So who's the first one to have an F? Say E. Okay? I just told you a minute ago, H is terribly worded. If you did it, the answer is bromine, but if you didn't, it's okay. Skip that one. The wording is terrible. All right, I. This should be an easy one. All right, among the elements, which one would have a dot symbol not given by 2 dots? So who's not going to have 2 dots? All right, BA is in which group?
Alkaline earth.
All right, the alkaline earth metals. All right, what tells dots again? After I get done dragging this thing around. What tells dots, Michaela? Outer shell electrons. Okay, let me write this in so we can read it again because I got so much crap up here we can't tell what anything is. Okay, so said what again? Barium? Yeah. So barium is here. It has how many dots? 2. All right, lead is here. It has how many dots? All right, calcium is here. It has how many dots? Zinc is here. It has how many dots? Everybody through there has 2. All right, and strontium has how many dots? Who's the only one that doesn't have 2 dots? What? Yes, lead or peanut butter. All right, J. The total number of orbitals filled in chlorine is, all right, how can you find orbitals? What do you have to do if I ask that on the test? You have to do what?
Count the lines.
Count the lines. So the only way you can do that is 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p. Chlorine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 electrons. Now, the question said, did it say filled or containing? Okay. So, look at it again in J. It says filled. Okay. filled means we need what? Ones that have 2 electrons. If it said containing, you'd count all the lines. But it said filled. So look at filled. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 that are filled. If I said containing, I would say 9. Okay? If I asked half full, I would have 1. If I asked you how many were empty, I would say how many? 0. Okay? I could ask any of those kinds of questions about an orbital notation. Okay? Full, I have 8. Okay? Questions about how I could change the wording in the question? Are you okay with the wording? Okay, I got some nods, but I got a lot of people who aren't even paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Monday we test. If you're not here and you're absent, you're at the whim of when I'm going to be available to test. Okay? We will set a test date, like we did for the lab to take the test. I'm not scattering a 65 multiple choice question test over multiple days to take it. Okay? I'm just putting that out there.
When's our next class?
Don't know. We don't have magnesium. Can't afford to get any. So I'm debating the chalk lab, and then we'll see. I'd really like to do it on homecoming Friday, which is a half day, which is my preference, and it's our only half day, but that's going to be a jacked up schedule, and it won't work most likely. All right. How many half-filled orbitals do we have in cobalt? Anybody do that? 3 is correct. All right. You can do it with shorthand. Cobalt has what? AR in brackets? 4s2, 3d, 7. All right. What's the only piece we need to look at to determine how many are half-filled? 3d7. This is all of this is full. We don't care about it. 3d7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many are half full?
3.
Yep.
Could you do write it out like the whole thing like we did last time?
Sure. I'm just doing it with less work. Let's see. I guess we're on L. The number of electron-containing orbitals in an atom of bromine. How many orbitals would you have in an atom of bromine? Any guesses? Anybody try it?
3.
All right. It says orbitals, so you got to have what? Got to have lines. So you can draw the orbital notation, and you can count all the lines. Okay. So you'd have 18 when you finish drawing it and counting the lines.
That's like the same. Like J, K, and L were all the same type of question, just worded differently.
Pretty much. All right. The 6-period element with the same outer shell configuration as antimony. How do we do this? The 6-period element with the same outer shell configuration as antimony. Antimony is right here, and it's in which period? Okay. So, if this is the 5th period, and that's antimony, and they want to know the element with the same configuration as antimony, but in the 6th period, what does that mean? It has to be in the same what? Go down one. It's in the same group. So that would be what? Bi. And the last one, the element with exactly 19 filled orbitals. How would you find that? Well, what do we do to figure out who has 19 filled orbitals? All right, let's do this a little shorter. Y'all are working way too hard for that. How many electrons fill an orbital?
2.
Okay. It said it has to be 19 exactly full. So what would you do? 19 times 2 is what?
What?
It said,
19 times 2.
you had 19 that are full, right? So how many electrons are in each orbital? 2, right? Each has 2 electrons. So what could you do with 19 and 2? Yeah, so 19 times 2 will get us what? 38. So what would you do to figure out the element?
Atomic number.
Correct. So you'd look up the atomic number and you'd go, oh, element 38 is strontium. And that way you don't have to keep drawing orbitals until you get 38 arrows. Okay, I mean, you can do it that way. Just takes a while. Does that make sense? Since it said it was exactly 38 full. Sorry, 19 full. 19 full orbitals. Did you get that? That's good. That's okay. Just be thankful you got it. All right. So I have 2 review sheets. We are not going to spend the entire class period on them because we're going to do Kahoot. And I want to talk a little bit about Mendeleev today.
About what?
One of those, everybody, do not forget each other. You and your shirt having a hard time? Sounds like what? You play football, imagine that.
Hey, at least you know you play now.
Did they not get washed?
They do, but they all get washed together.
That's just evil.
All that sweat and body odor all together in one washing machine.
I don't feel like one washing machine trip.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll wash them.
Why don't y'all think I'm gonna wash this?
Fixes. Oh.
Well, you know we're broke, so maybe I'd put it back on the church behind.
I know they like walk like they
You do the extra
this year.
Yeah, I should have.
Now I'm gonna maybe take the phone.
I said I've already had one. Oh my gosh.
That's second period, what happened, what I take.
I
I kept 3:30 last Friday.
And that's right.
All right, so if you will, I don't care which one you start with. All right, I gave you the multiple choice because the test is 65 multiple choice questions. You will see some stuff that looks like 1 through whatever on that multiple choice sheet. And some folks have difficulty answering those. I'm pretty sure I have the answers to those. Yeah, a lot of my keys have no answers on them. Can't think of anymore, huh? I will post the answers to those online at some point today so you have them. So pick whichever one you want to work on. I'll be glad to help you answer any questions you have. If you were absent yesterday and you want to work on the apply quantum number one and do some of the earlier ones on that sheet because you need more practice on that, that's fine too. All right. But I'm going to give you till about 9:15 to work on whatever it is you want to work on the review, and then we're going to do things. All right. I should not see phones out unless you want me to have it until 3:30.
30.
Yes. Like all that.
Well, on the first one, like when it goes to the excited state to the ground state, I know it like condense wait.
Which one am I looking at? Multiple choice?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Wait. Yeah, that's my question in front of me.
It would be B, right?
Um,
I know I have one.
if you go from the excited state to the ground state, it's what?
B.
B is in boy, yes. Which one? What do you think it is?
I think it is.
Spherical. Sphere.
What's a
Sphere.
See the little, like, cool.
So what now? Yeah, but given it says a sphere represents S.
Thank you.
On all of these previous questions, I go between two. Like, on the second one, like, I know the orbital is like a circular path, but it's not.
All right. When it says orbital, that is not the answer.
B,
Nope, it's not B.
D.
It's D. Anytime it says orbital, it's a highly probable location.
Okay.
So number 3, I feel like all of them could be right. What do I do?
Which one?
3.
No. The quantum model we've just spent time studying.
Yeah, it's
Where are the electrons located?
What's the circle thing?
No, that's what Bohr
Is
said.
it B?
Nope.
Is it C?
Yep.
What?
Wait, okay, so what's it? Okay, which one is the quantum? Is it like the picture?
It's like the highly probable location
And so it's the orbital.
is the orbital.
See, you could.
Just walk over and then
Oh no, Miss Harvey said when I was in her office, she was like, I haven't actually decided. I really don't know. Like, I was talking to her yesterday.
I mean, Harvey's the one that's
I don't understand what the problem is.
Are we still on headbands?
Yes,
They
because I talked to Miss
make
Harvey
us-
about it yesterday, and she was like, she's not really sure if we can wear them or not.
So if I pull up in one, better not count.
Right. So if I put on a headband, I don't really know. Because the principal don't even know. So how can we get all that?
The energy state.
I'd say it's B. Because there's two possible orientations.
What?
Oh, this is
What? I think it's one because it's principal. But
What?
okay.
Number 4, okay.
Is it white? Or is it
Number which one?
4?
4.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
How? I thought the only one who did that was principal. Because it tells you the electron size.
There are 4 quantum numbers.
That's not what it's asking.
Yeah.
But I guess they all
Where are you at?
describe it in
4.
4. How many quantum numbers are used to describe the energy state of an electron? There are
Energy.
4 quantum numbers.
The orbital will just tell you where it's at. What's that got to do with energy? You know what? It'll be better. It'll be better. It's alright.
You said 2 was D, right?
Yeah.
The hotel thing came from Bohr, right?
Atomic nucleus.
Where you at? Hotel, the lowest energy level, southbound.
I know. S. Oh,
Southbound.
it's a circle. And the P is the spider. And the B is the two
I
spiders.
swore I scanned these last year.
What's
I know.
How many spiders is
Why are we talking about spiders?
Oh, I thought, so let's see how many spiders is B have. What's
Have you ever had a pet tarantula?
No,
S
P's
Would you?
yeah.
No, I hate spiders.
Oh, these are flowers.
So you think
And then
it's wall and the spiders too?
Okay.
Oh,
He is the full.
No.
F is the flower, I thought.
F is the flowering shape.
Wait, so what is D?
The
Four lobe.
Four lobes.
You have the right thing. You just did wrong. Oh wait, P is peanut.
Okay,
Right.
well,
Yeah, Peter,
I'm
no,
having
wait,
Energy.
S is just a circle.
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah.
wait, what? Just sphere, cloud?
I mean, it's for A.
A or
Because P is the spider.
What are we talking about?
Orbital.
5. Spherical is S, I know S.
Except it's just S, right?
Yes, S.
Okay.
Here is S.
The P is spider.
Spider.
Spider. Spider.
Spider's not spider.
Spider.
For what?
Yes.
Scandium, SC.
Spiders don't.
Spiders have, yeah.
Yeah, they have the head in the body.
Right. It's big and little.
It was a cute, like, this spider was sweet, it was black, and it was on my
They said
table, and I
cute
was so
was
scared. And it jumped.
Remember when that one girl Spanish did not want to go to China?
I could not believe that, like, what are you talking about right now? Like, she, the spider was crawling on the ceiling.
Y'all keep working, I'll be right back.
Y'all, yesterday at work, I got B. They was telling me that they was taking tests and a mouth crawl.
Oh,
At West Texas.
oh.
And then they was like, we got red.
Facial.
Like,
Is that like?
Well, I thought you came in to sell.
I got like
businesses.
lines, like.
Well, first of all, I thought you were like selling it.
It's cold.
I remember what it is.
I put some over here.
I think I see.
You want to see?
Yeah, because it's saying spatial positions available. Oh wait, for orbit.
What?
Yeah,
not for electrons, for the orbital. So I got the, wait, because orbitals is line. Yeah.
Oh, this is just how I is my sexual position. I'm so sexual. I'm sexual.
Touching me, number 4.
Like, what was,
You got such a nice butt.
Wait,
One was what?
possible
One was what?
of orbital shapes with the
Give her 7.
Would it be just one?
it's just the 4 lobes. Maybe you put the 4 lobes. He has 3.
I
I thought it would be like how many pictures. Nice to meet you. One, I thought, why would it be 5? Because 5 is, what's number now? 7.
Yeah, another sucker.
Number 7.
You don't know.
We're Does it has 4 lobes or? Yeah. Well, you just had it doing everything right now. Because orbital shape.
So maybe it's just asking. Okay, so
I think it might be 1 because he has 3 different. These still have 5. But I think it's the same shape.
what could they look?
Yeah,
So I think it's one.
yeah, because it's not asking how many pictures, it's asking how many different shapes. I think it's the same shape. I'm not gonna say one, but yeah.
You gonna keep it?
I bet that was so great.
It's true.
At each energy level.
And
there was 2 dollars there. Yes, 2. Yeah, opposite. Who sits here? Anyone can use some of those possible. 2. I think I have 2 electrons on each line.
Franco, you
Oh,
already
okay.
ready?
Look at the chart.
Okay, that's a whole
Right. It is great.
I don't want to have a shot. It's because the NBA fans did just have games. That's what I think. Oh,
If I asked my mom,
that would have been better than it was.
Oh,
she got here there last night, so she
No, look where it fell.
I know.
Try to watch it.
Oh, I know. She was with her boyfriend all weekend.
I don't sit down.
I'm
That's why. I gotta. Oh, wait.
So, there's too many numbers. Okay, so. In ascending. So I have to move back.
Alright, who else still has a question?
Descending would be going up. Like,
I'm sure.
I was sending.
I didn't realize that. I think next month.
Like,
Two minutes worth.
You
You just have to know the energy level. So what energy level is it?
I don't think it's A.
The first thing you do.
So 1 squared
5S.
and then times 2.
Oh,
It's 2n squared. It's
It's
all you have to use. You don't have to add up sublevels or do anything else. You can use the formula 2n squared.
Wait, so if I did the 30 in the chart, you square it
Times 2, yes.
Oh,
You're allowed.
it's just a business.
Yeah.
Number 7, this
I
one.
like the open book.
Orbitals of equal energy. Hundred. Yeah. HUNDS. Franco.
When they ask for the possible orbital shapes, I mean, every
Where we at?
have one shape, right?
Where we at?
Number 7.
7, how many possible orbital shapes for the third energy level? 3, because you could have S, P, D. You could have S, which is a sphere, P, which is peanut, and D, which is
So I thought the
four.
third level could only have the 4 levels.
No, because you have the S, you have the P, and you have the D.
Third energy level.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
All go?
The orbital notations is with the arrows, right?
Yes.
It's 6C.
Is the outbound principle the one that occupies the lowest energy level?
Hang on, I'm answering online. Just letter designations for the first 4 quantum numbers for the spatial positions available for orbitals. No, it would be
Because you have to look at the
That would
other
be
thing
pictures,
before.
because it says
So there's,
available
wait,
for
that still don't make sense.
All right, what'd you say? I did Elijah, so Allie, which one my answer for you?
11. Is it?
Alpha.
Okay. What is the exclusion principle?
No two elements have the same force, the same sum of 4 quantum numbers.
How is
So
that?
all 118 elements would have a different orbital notation or electron configuration. So they'd be different at least by spin.
How is that?
How is 7-3? Because if you have a third energy level, you have to have 3 sublevels, so there'd be 3 different shapes. You'd have a sphere, you'd have a peanut, you'd have a 4 level.
So what is Hunter again?
That's what it feels singular with.
Okay.
Okay, they all take a separate load.
And then alpha was the one where it's like 1, 2.
Yeah, they gotta fill each floor of the hotel separately. Fill it first before you go on to the next level. All right, I was doing, I scanned this one. Yeah. Yeah, 19, undrew. Yeah, because it was just asking you what said that. All right, let me get passion. I know, you wouldn't have known that, would you? Precious wouldn't have known that without being told that, would you? Here, let me give you the test review sheet. All right, so here is one. Most people are doing the multiple choice because the test is 65 multiple choice questions. And we're getting ready to do a Kahoot in about 6 minutes. The one that's not multiple choice is Kahoot. All right, and since I can't find the answers to the other one either,
feel like that's the vibe. Okay, where's phosphorus? Wait, 1 and 5.
I think I had that.
Wait, okay, yeah, 5.
That must be in.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
We can just see lots. 2 pairs of dots, we can see 3 pairs, 4. Wait, I think it's 3 dots. 4. Wait, you have to write out the whole notation. Wait, no, just divide it. So it's 5 and 1, 2, 3. Wait, not 3 pairs of dots. 1 pair of dots and 3 single dots.
I mean, you can just count all of them until you do 5. The electron configuration for the energy will show 3.
What's scandium?
Is anyone going to the ACT boot camp
These guys.
What time is it?
It starts at 9.
First of all,
9 to what?
where's scandium?
3.
Scandium is like 20.
Maybe not 30. Maybe it's 12.
SC. It's
So, one.
the first one
Oh,
that
I see.
transitions.
I mean, not 30. I mean, 7.
Said,
Why would you do this? Now you got me this.
Is
Review chapter.
Captain like the manager there yet? 'Cause,
The future disappear here.
I swear. I'm about to be her secretary.
oh, no, it's from 9 to 3. 9 to 3.
Okay, you figure it out.
No. I don't know what it will be.
The electric configuration of that shows the degree minus energy. Where's scandium?
I don't remember. Is it, would it be 4S1 or 4S2? It's 4S1. Why? I don't know. If it's the first one. Wait, I'm talking about how to read it, like 4S, is it 2? Like when you're reading 4S, like 4S.
Yeah, if you're talking about K, if this is like, because right now it's 1S squared, 2S squared, and it's like, how's it A? 3D1.
Yeah. 20 what? Hold on. And I don't have it in front of me, so I can see the questions. Because I just uploaded it to the website. So I'll be able to see the question. Pull it up. 20, which one? The
It
number
is
of
A,
different
because
sublevels
there's
for
3
each
electrons.
energy level of an atom is equal
It's
to the value of the
What did
principal
you do?
quantum
Just
number, or
write
n.
Yeah. For some reason, I can't write it. Why? Wait, so this would be 1
Alright,
squared.
let me
Oh, wait, basically,
add-
it's really
one other thing to this.
3T6. Where's oh,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't see it. KR? Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Who's on the back now? Last I saw it. Is it still not back there?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, fourth period was using it yesterday because one of my students' underwear wasn't fitting right. He kept sticking his hands down his pants to fix his underwear. And so they told him to use hand sanitizer. He was bemoaning the type of underwear his mother bought him because it wasn't sitting right on his behind.
So what I'm wondering,
So you gotta
would you give me extra credit if I cleaned your?
I don't know if he had a wedgie or what, but it wasn't sitting right, he said. It was at Black. Does that sound like the right name? I can't swear it was that. I don't remember. But the brand name, he said it wasn't sitting right on his hips. I don't know.
Yeah. It was more information than I ever wanted to know about underwear.
Can I clean your counters with it for extra credit?
Huh?
Can I think your colors with it?
Why?
Your colors are good.
They are good.
Can I put it for makeup time?
Because they're all.
I'll stay out there for Tuesday and clean up your colors.
You could come do time because you certainly need it, but
Hey, I made up my absences.
you are on 8.
8.
And you've signed in, so between what you've signed in for and you're on 8, that should lower yours, right? How much time have you done?
3 days.
I mean, you missed like 2 weeks.
I was dying. I didn't need to make up the for a good time.
Right, that's what I feel like, what?
Miss Wall,
Mhm.
I think for 18, the atomic sublevel with the highest energy after 4B,
But I
maybe
believe it,
4D.
just felt sick again.
do we use the chart thing?
Huh?
Do we use the chart?
What chart?
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 7.
You can use it if you want.
Okay,
Can you
what's
hear
the
the
fashion?
No.
Oh, okay. What's the atomic sublevel with the highest energy after 4P? 4D?
No, 5S.
Oh, you use the chart.
Yes,
That's what that.
yes. All right, if you guys will, stop what you're doing. We're gonna do our Kahoot. You can use any periodic table. I'm pretty sure I probably did like I did on the last one, and I put the atomic numbers in there. So you're probably gonna want your orange one that has atomic numbers to reference. You can use your color-coded ones. It's just practice or review for the test.
Can we get
Okay.
our phone?
Yes, you may play with your phone. Does anybody need a laptop instead of using their phone? Anybody need a laptop? I always have people say if you want a laptop, but they all never do, so I'm just asking. All right,
Oh, wait.
and this one has 20 questions, so it's a little longer than most of them that I do.
Oh my gosh, she's already
Yes,
cute.
music annoys the crap out of me, but I won't mute it even though it annoys me. And the answer keys are already uploaded on PowerSchool, by the way.
So what?
Not PowerSchool, sorry, the website. I was in PowerSchool a second ago. Do the people who are absent need the apply quantum number answers on the website? Are we okay without those? Jocelyn, do you or Sam need the applied quantum numbers worksheet answers? The one that had the like 44, 45, and 13? No, y'all don't need those? Okay. Because that's the only thing I didn't post. I only did the new stuff.
Miss Wall, do you dress up for Halloween?
Nope, I'm gonna be on that with my kids. Aside from that, Halloween has never been one of my.
Candy.
We need to figure out opportunities.
Huh? I prefer. Thanksgiving's never been one of my favorite ones because I'm always on the go. But I like Christmas.
You don't like it.
I like Christmas and the 4th of July. Those are probably my 2 favorites.
What?
I really love Thanksgiving because I was
Bye.
and I love Christmas because I love the Christmas spirit and smelling.
All right, we're at 18. We need should be 2 more. No, wait, no.
I like it every year, and I really, she's always complaining about something because she has to cook or something. And oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yeah, they do wins on my birthday, so.
Yes, anybody that knows this show knows what it is.
Here?
She worked at a drug store.
Oh, okay.
She was like a substitute. I remember that. She did? Oh, I don't think I showed that.
Come on, wait, no.
That's exciting.
There we go.
I can't even see how much was big ooh.
Wait, just hold up.
I'm locked out. Oh wait, I need my period. Oh my god, the L belly. Oh.
And this is on everything. It's not just on. You will need your orange charts. So once you've answered,
I know it.
find your orange charts too, because you're going to need those somewhere in the 20 questions.
What is the
with reading a Bohr model or reading a color, frequency, or wavelength. And I tried to think about poor Allie and the time strain. So some of these do have a minute of time.
I think it is. I'm not sure.
Think about Franco, who's not on the place. Can I do it there?
Turn on the
I
thing.
got you.
Turn it on. That'd be funny.
No, I got it, but look. Disconnect from our
My head hurts. I woke up. Let me stop lying.
1 and 2.
I got it before the ring started.
You already clicked the phone for you, genius.
If I get it loaded because of it.
Alright, S is what value?
Zero.
S is 0, P is 1, D is 2, F is 3.
Oh, you want me to click next? Oh, you got it. How many electrons? Oh.
They're in the outer shell of sulfur.
I was gonna say, I hope that's right. 'Cause it
I like the
was.
way Precious is using Allie's periodic table.
Share. I always use those.
I'm here at the table this beer.
Well, what's the longest you stayed awake?
Stayed awake.
24 hours.
At least that.
Yes. No. Apparently, if you stay awake for like 3 days, you start hallucinating. No, you don't.
Alright,
Yes.
outer shell electrons. We count 1 through 8. The people who picked -2 have the oxidation number.
No, I just.
Outer shell electrons count 1 through 8. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 6.
Why are you slapping it like that? It's like a car salesman. What? Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, wait, I think I'm more stupid. I feel stupid. Can I take my answer back?
This isn't like flickers. You can't rescan.
Can I rescan it?
No.
What if I say skip?
We don't do anything, man. I don't think we're going to.
I'm so pressed about that lantern. I really forced my mama to drive me to Dollar Tree to get me some stuff for this lantern. And it's due next week.
Alright, that's pretty pitiful, people.
And I turned it in yesterday.
Third highest energy level is N equals 3. How do we find it?
2 and 3. Wait, 2, 3 squared.
Alright,
3
you
squared
can do 2 N
times
squared,
2.
so 3
Oh,
squared is
yeah.
9 times 2. You could have added up the sublevels, S, P, and D, so 2 plus 6 plus 10.
You want me to click next?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, right. Which quantum number describes orientation in space? The one that it does? Wait, dang it. What if I left?
We got trouble.
You would tell on me? That's not nice. I feel like
Right.
an idiot.
So,
We don't even
that's correct. Orbital tells what 2 things?
Picture. Shape.
Shape and sublevel.
I feel stupid. What color of
Oh my god. I told you needed the chart.
Oh, you said orange. Honestly,
I
I'm
said
a
the orange
guess.
stapled charts.
I'm a guess and pray for the best. Do you have an orange table chart, and you do have to go all the way to my desk?
You already guessed, but here.
But do I need it for another question?
Possibly.
Exactly. You gotta watch out for the possibility. They get you. And then 14, and then.
Hey, Miss Wally, what about chicken from the commercial?
Yes.
Oh, I need to get one. My mama bought 3 sheets, and we didn't even use it. Like,
I usually buy at least 3.
I got it right, I guess. I'm not gonna say.
All right. So you have to look at Bohr. N equals 6 to N equals 2 is what number?
The
Because
one that it
the
is.
chart I looked at, I gave it to Michaela. So it's what?
Oh,
410. So 4.1 gives you violet. Okay. Hit next.
Next. Tic tac toe, 1,000 in a row. Oh, I don't remember if this one's. Dang it. Oh, well. Oh. I think it's right, but I'm not sure.
All right. It's inversely. What was directly? Anybody remember?
Energy and frequency.
Energy and
Oh my
frequency
gosh.
were directly.
Y'all are so smart. Which fourth period element has octets?
Oh, what's that? Oh, wait, so.
A Kruger.
I like the way Franco's wearing a headband
Wait,
again.
hold on,
Is it
wait.
E?
Wait.
Is it E?
Dang it, I tried to let it
Is
go.
it?
Yes, E is neon.
You just wanted to say that she wasn't sure about it after that.
I tried to slide it down.
You said what?
If Miss Harvey doesn't even know about it, I feel like we should. just-
And I feel like they should
How
not be
about
able
this
to
chicken, right?
make up rules.
about
Like,
this
why are we cool with
How
that?
many
Oh,
would you like to buy?
Put me down for 3.
3? Okay.
Oh, it's good.
Is Miss Rector saw those sheets?
Yes. I can go that one.
Alright, so fourth period.
Oh.
Helium's in period 1, neon's period 2, argon's period 3, krypton's period 4.
Kryptonite. Whoa,
It's
is
not
that the
kryptonite, by
planet
the
where
We really left in the middle of the game? What's the M value of P?
Oh, there.
M with S, B.
Hey, you know this, big. You're wrong.
It's fine.
What?
Could it be
Alright.
Western?
No.
Oh, I'm
the
so
negative 2 to 2 is D. The P sublevel only has how many pictures?
I don't want to play anymore.
What, the 2? The 3?
So it can only have 3 numbers. The D sublevel has 5 pictures, so it has to have 5 numbers.
This how it be. I promise this how it be.
If L equals 2.
Spaghetti!
Hey, when is this chicken break, by the way? We want to make sure I'm in town.
Thursday, November 7th.
Oh, that's
Hi, Miss Wall.
What?
You said
Say hello.
the 3 tickets?
Yeah.
That's $30.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Do y'all need explanation?
Yes.
Well, Miss Wall, you heard a yes. Go ahead.
If L equals 2, what do we say about N? It's always what? What's the
Less
matter?
plus one.
It's 1 more. You add 1. Okay, the reason is L equals 2 is a D sublevel, so SPD, you have to have what? 3. Okay, it's the third sublevel, so N has to be 3. But the trick is N is 1 more. Okay, and next. I'm gonna grab my checkbook.
How many unpaired electrons are there? I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Ooh.
Unpaired?
Ah!
It's so for X.
What?
Hey, make it 4.
4.
How do you make this one faster without drawing it?
Shelby might want to eat.
How would you
It's not
answer this
even,
without drawing it?
loaded.
Without what?
So-
Drawing it.
I can show you the trick, but most people don't like it.
Well, I would like to see after this because I want to draw it.
Got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What did I make it out to? LSHS course parents?
I got some glasses real quick.
Franco. If you don't know it now, you're not going to know it yet.
Like some course friends.
Read. 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 What is this? What is this? Is this a meter or a yardstick? A meter. I like this. So you draw it and count. That's
You
your
have 6
explanation.
electrons in the outer shell, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
2 of them aren't going to be paired because you have 2 S's, they're paired, and then you have 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 more is going to be paired, so 2 will be unpaired.
She's a genius. How many electrons can the F sublevel hold? As many as my heart content.
I don't know. I can ask her.
Is that still what?
Cylinder.
Selling jerseys, she said?
Yes.
What?
Huh?
It didn't say the fourth energy level, it said the F sublevel.
All right, it's just the F sublevel, not the fourth. Just F.
I'm big brain.
All right.
Ow. What type of radiation has the lowest frequency? No, I'll do as I please. Weenie.
You'll hit Trevor and then.
All right. Remember, lowest frequency is the same as what?
I got that.
Highest wavelength, longest
Longest wavelength. So longest wavelength is on the far left. So that's why it's radio. Next.
Y'all look at me. Sorry. I'm blurred.
Sorry, guy, you're just in ninth place.
How many electron containing orbitals are there? What? Electron containing orbitals? Huh? Are they in
How
magnesium?
many orbitals do you have?
In magnesium?
Magnesium?
Yep.
Where's magnesium?
12.
Oh. See.
So the first three are paired because that equals 10. And then the second.
It's just asking how many orbitals, Franco.
Lines.
I don't. Oh well, we gonna see what happens. I definitely did not get that right. Yeah, I did. No, I did. I did. I don't know.
Because it goes 1S, 2S,
3, 4,
2P.
5,
No.
6,
Yeah,
6.
2P, then 3S, and then they're all paired up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm so confused with you.
1
Was that right?
plus 3.
You have 1 line.
Well.
2 lines. That's lines.
Orbitals or lines?
4, 5,
I think
6.
it's just a I think you're
Look how it landed.
You throw at us.
1, 2.
Oh, I don't want to go flying.
Dang,
We don't-
why didn't it let me choose it?
Right.
I actually tapped on trying to slide down.
Now, there's lots of ways you can do it. You can draw it on the test Monday. That's fine. You can do a shortcut, which is magnesium has 12 electrons. Every orbital has how many? 12 divided by 2 is what? 6. You can do like Franco did, and he's counting 1s is 1, 2s is 2, 2p is 3, and then 3s is 1, so that's what? 6. There's multiple ways to do it. All right, next.
Next. Oh. Which other one has a configure? I don't want to do it. But
You just look at the table and find it.
I don't want to. What? 4s squared.
Oh.
In 15 questions,
1, 2,
so
3,
first kill
4s
it.
squared.
65 is gonna put you on.
3D. 3.
Don't lose my check.
Of course not.
Stop. What? I don't believe you. What?
It's
1, 1, 2. How is it a vandalism? It is. Oh, wait.
CR.
Oh,
You press PC.
Guys, you're just going across the table.
I realized 5. I was looking for.
So you got 4s2, all right, and then 3D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you stop there.
You try to play with me, Precious, but I don't listen to you because I know better than to listen
next.
to you, Precious. What is this kind of thing?
Don't
It's meter?
It's a meter stick.
Meter. Tellurium.
52. So find
52.
52.
I signed up for us to go to therapy.
You go to therapy? Okay.
Did you really?
No.
She said she signed us up, not
Who's
just
the answer?
her, but the rest of us. We're all going to group therapy.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I called them to come here. So
Where's the tellurium?
What's 52? You'd stop vanishing, it'd be easier.
right. Just because you got the headband don't mean you a ninja.
No, I'm
Stay in
making chicken
place.
cells. And she's gonna get it. She's getting you your tickets right now, Miss Wall.
Oh yeah, because I need not to lose those.
I got it right and I went down.
All right. So it's in group 16, so you get 6 dots, 6 electrons. Next.
The total electrons in phosphorus.
Oh, I didn't know
Phosphorus.
the
Phosphorus.
How many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Foldable. We don't do foldables. Physical. Which one's easier? Physical science or chemistry?
It's just a
Apparently, people like to isolate things from like cleaning supplies. I don't know how to do that, but I'd like to.
What are you talking about?
People we talk about how it like they take like chemicals out of their cleaning supplies and use them for things. And I would like
Oh, I got a
What do total electrons come from?
numbers.
The atomic number. So you look up atomic number 15 and you got it.
Yep.
Or phosphorus is atomic number 15. Next.
The highest main energy level in silver.
Oh, God. I did it
Oops. So much.
Right here.
What?
Where do you get one of these? Walmart?
Oh,
Have you seen those like pocket staffs? It's like they press a button and it gets it's like a big stick.
Oh, period. Done.
Oh.
I haven't went yet because like
Yeah, I paid this year's water.
you better take off one.
Period is the same as the highest energy level. There you go.
That's what we did.
Okay, last
The
three coming
most
up.
reactive. I don't even have this.
Yes, you do.
I know, but I don't have it on my
I don't
person.
need notes. I got my brain.
Have some confidence. I like to see it.
Watch me get it right.
Okay.
This better be right. Or I'm gonna be upset now. You have so many extra
Yo.
markers. Other classes only have like
What did
2.
you get, Michaela?
What?
What did you get?
F. I know she sees me.
Me one.
Yeah, I don't know what you turned around for. I looked at you.
All right. So which group do we say was the most reactive?
The one next to the 18.
So group 17 are the halogens. That's why it's fluorine. Okay. Those of you who pick sodium pick the metal that's most reactive, which is why it's not sodium. Okay.
Did you get it right, Xavier?
Yep.
Which element is the most stable? The one that it is.
The one that it is.
I don't know.
Stable means not reactive. Doesn't like other elements.
Not reactive, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not reactive.
Girl, not reactive.
I don't even know where nothing is.
We'll go eat.
I'ma just pray for the best.
You don't lose in your game.
Wait, why you got an exhaust fan?
Oh my. I was gonna get some food. I was mad.
Do those things?
All right. Most stable means you don't react. Where you got to be to not react?
18.
Got to be in group 18.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So last one.
Which element is lanthanum?
Oh, I
What do you mean?
That's the name right here.
Where is it?
Where? What?
Wait, that's not. I don't know where it
What is that? Like, where is it?
is. Wait.
What's the other one called? Tonight. I just labeled it. I thought I labeled it.
Y'all, if anybody knows.
Oh, it's a lanthanum. I'm so stupid. I was looking for the element lanthanum. Honestly, I don't deserve it.
The lanthanides are named after the element lanthanum.
Oh yeah, I would. Oh yeah, but it's okay. Hopefully, I maintain my
The
status.
element lanthanum is number 57.
Ninth place. Are you giving that award for the
All right, top five.
Top 10.
I was in 19th when we started. So you know what?
You were
It's
at 19.
We got 10 minutes. Were you really trying to take
All
notes?
right, yes, we really are. All right, we have 15 minutes. So if you will, find your notes.
No.
Yes, find your notes. Well, I'm gonna put
I
these
like that
tickets away while I read.
Can you turn on this thing?
Turn on what thing?
This thing. I want to put my face up to it.
That's what I'm going to do. Because I'll lose them if I don't.
I'm not gonna close too.
You, no.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Right.
Oops.
You stabbed me.
Double cheek. Thursday afternoon. Like
Y'all like that. Album coming soon, don't worry.
Oh, keep it, don't release.
Oh, wait.
You know what? When I sign my record label, all y'all be calling me.
All right.
I asked me to the end, but we kept on to my show alone. So, first of all, I like it from her. That's I got it from her. Brittany, I've been there. There was
What?
And I can do it again.
Who's gone?
We have what?
What?
Homework? Study for the test.
You stole my heart.
What are you doing, Deuces?
I'm so sleepy. I went to sleep at 5.
You went to sleep at 5?
Yeah, because I got home when I slept that whole time up until like 9. And then I was watching
All right, so if we look at our next unit is on the periodic table. And I will tell you that some of what we've done is going to overlap this test to the next test. But I will tell you that the parts that will not overlap. All of the stuff on the quantum numbers that talks about SPDF in terms of values and finding stuff with the Bohr model, none of that's going to overlap. The stuff we've done very recently, reactivity, finding the number of outer shell electrons, reading the periodic table in terms of who's a solid, liquid, and gas, the things we've done strictly with the periodic table, that stuff will overlap onto the next test. There's no way for me to separate that, okay? So that kind of stuff is still going to appear on the next test. I'm not going to focus on that, but I will assume that you guys still know that information, and I will not be able to separate it out of the test, okay? Do you understand that piece?
What's up, London?
So for example, if I say or refer to something as the most reactive group on the periodic table, did we learn that in this new unit? No, we didn't. When did we learn which group was the most reactive non-metals?
Yesterday.
Yes. But in the next test that we're going to take, not Monday's test,
Oh.
the next test, I will still expect you to know that, even though we learned it on the last unit, okay? Okay? I'm going to talk about that again next week, but even though we've already talked about it, I'm going to still expect you to know it. So many of you divide your notebooks into units. You're fixated on it's this unit, so nothing from this previous unit can be on this unit's test. So I'm trying to tell you that some of this last unit that we just did will overlap on this unit's test. Okay?
The periodic table that we did yesterday, is that going on today's notes? Or is
It overlaps into this test.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I was trying to show you, but it was.
Yes, so that whole table that we drew yesterday overlaps into this test. That's correct. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the periodic table today. It's one of the topics that the state left in our curriculum that is actually history. All right? Dmitri Mendeleev is a Russian chemist.
Mendeleev.
Not to be mixed up with the biology dude Gregor Mendel, by the way. All right? A lot of people ask me if they're related.
Like names like John Smith or something like that.
They're not Americans, I know. All right, so he's a Russian chemist.
J.
And he was working on designing.
Are we gonna need to know the people for this stuff? But each.
Yes, you are.
The house was symmetry.
You will need to know who Bohr is, who Schrodinger is, who Aufbau, Pauli, and Hund are. Yes. You will not need to know who Aufbau, Pauli, and Hund are for the exam. I only require it for my test. Okay? So, Mendeleev was working on a periodic table. All right? At this time, there was no functioning periodic table. So this was a fairly huge undertaking. Now, because there was no periodic table at this point, he went about it in a way that was unique for this time. Once upon a time, I don't know how people teach research papers anymore, but some English teachers used to teach to write stuff down on index cards. Mendeleev, during this time, and I'm sure they weren't called index cards then, but you can all envision what an index card looks like. So he wrote, oops, that's a little close there. I said it was a little close there. He wrote down, somebody close that door. He wrote down, they're working on their bodies in the hallway. There's not enough space in the room. He wrote down all the information he knew about each element on an index card. Okay, and I put index cards in quotes because at that time, like I said, they probably weren't called index cards. Okay, paper squares. Now, he included the newly discovered atomic mass. And that was done by an Italian scientist by the name of Stanislao Cannizzaro. I'm not going to make you write his name down, though. Now, when he was working on the periodic table, they only knew atomic masses. So he was going to include those because they were recently discovered. All right, we caught up. We're going to need to wait. Where are we at? We're there? All right, so he noticed two patterns. Number one, the atomic masses of the elements increased in most places. Okay? The atomic masses of the elements increased in most places. Now, if I say most places, that means what? Not all places. Okay? And number two, the elements had some similar repeating properties. All right, he noticed two patterns. The atomic masses of the elements increased in most places, and the elements had some similar repeating properties. So, what did he notice
And what did he do about this? So, thinking about what we know about the periodic table, what did he do about those elements that had similar repeating properties?
Put them in the same group.
Correct. That's what he did. All right. Has everybody caught up with me? All right. So, the elements that had the same properties went in the same group. However, if the mass didn't increase, he didn't know where to place them. So, as an example, and this is where we'll wrap it up for the day. Find my table so I can give you the example. All right. So according to Mendeleev, all right, these have similar properties. These have similar properties. But if you look at the masses, this one has a mass of 127.6, and this one has a mass of 126.9. According to Mendeleev, he said these should increase. So the question becomes, for Mendeleev, does he switch? All right. Does he switch TE and I? Or leave them based on similar properties? Okay? And we'll finish that on Monday. So, or Tuesday rather, because we won't, but we might on Monday, but I doubt it. Okay? So does he choose to switch their locations, or does he choose to leave them where he has them? Okay? Your homework is just to study for the test. We will test on Monday at 65 multiple choice questions. If you're not here, again, I will be choosing a day to make up the test, because I'm not making up a 65 multiple choice question test 3 and 4 times. The answers to the 2 papers I gave you are already posted